Hey everybody, welcome to today's MSI Insider live stream. I'm Ja.
Hello everyone.
Michiel with me today. So, how is everybody doing? Hope you're all doing fine, because we have a lot to talk about today. 3 of those monitors that we will be going through today are already on the table. Unfortunately, I don't have enough space to put everything on the table, so you have to see later. So yeah, what are we gonna do today? I'm
One of my favorite topics.
Yes, because it's we've come a long way. We have quite a portfolio when it comes to esports gaming monitors, and today we'd like to give you some tips and tricks, and also show you a brief monitor guide regarding what kind of models do we have, and what kind of models fits you best, what kind of refresh rate are we talking about. Performance-wise, we'll also show you live gameplay where we demonstrate the FPS, and also of course I will be taking the best model that we have right now to demonstrate. Lucky me today. So yeah, we will go through 5 gaming monitors that we have lined up for you from entry to high end. So there should be an option for everybody. And of course, if you have any question, always make sure to drop in the chat. And if you guys are watching from Facebook or Periscope or something, make sure to check out our Twitch or YouTube channel, because there you can actually participate in the chat so that we can actually see what you're saying. And of course, like always, we have a giveaway today, right? And today's
special one.
Yes. We have 2 separate giveaways today. One is our Dying Light 2 game codes. So we have more of those to give away this live stream. Make sure to tune in and go to MSI Insider /2/insider. And make sure to perform as many actions as you want. Of course, the more you do, the better it is. And after that, probably at the end of the live stream, we're going to draw a special winner who will get the special Editor's Collection Dying Light 2 game. Of course, which will also include some really nice goodies. Yeah, so guys, check it out. Make sure to participate. And if the link doesn't work for you, you can also just check out the chat, because every 6 minutes or so our bot will actually also drop the direct link to the giveaway in the chat. So you can just use that one as well if you don't feel like it.
I see GigaRam saying on YouTube chat, he's talking about the monitors, please don't cut it up. I don't think Ja's going to destroy any monitors today, right, Ja?
Well,
you never know with him.
You never know. But
is there a knife under your table?
No, but there's one in my pocket.
Okay.
Yeah, I was actually expecting some comments from you guys. We have done some rebranding with some elements that you have already seen, but I guess nobody noticed. I'm gonna give you guys some seconds to think about what I'm talking about. So GigaRam, I mean, come on, you should have noticed at least, or Troids, you should have at least noticed what we have changed already.
Shall I play it again? I think it's that good. Okay, here it comes again, guys.
Then you're giving the way. Okay.
With all new products.
Pa, 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 pa.
I'll be using that mouse today. So what do you think? Our brand new intro.
Yes.
Do you like it? Do you like it? I do.
Well, yes, definitely. It actually really gets me very pumped up. Our editor, Robin, he worked really hard on the intro. So, guys, give him some shout out. And yeah, I hope you like the new intro.
I see some positive reactions on Twitch. Nice.
Alrighty. Actually, speaking of the Dying Light 2, you actually still have about more than 2 weeks to, check out the new bundle that we have as well. If you go to our website, so you can still go check it out in case you have missed, I believe it was 2 weeks ago, where I had a live stream where I did the gaming chair, which is this one, and the one that Michiel is sitting on right now, the CH130i series, the Repeltech Fabric and the Fabric. 2 weeks ago I did that live stream, and there I also showed you guys that we actually right now have a very wide portfolio bundle that we have with Dying Light 2. So if you are planning on upgrading anytime soon, you can definitely make sure to check it out. Of course, if you like the game. On this webpage here, we have all the information lined up for you guys regarding what kind of period that we're talking about here, and there are only 518 codes left. I remember 2 weeks ago this was
and
like
a few
about
that we're giving
2,000.
away today.
Yep, we definitely took a chunk out of the pie as well. So yeah, if you're interested, you want to know what kind of products are eligible for the promotion, just check it out. Go to our webpage and then
it's
go
many
to
different products actually.
Yeah,
So not just
very
chairs,
broad
all kind of different products.
portfolio.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So let's just go back to
Charlie says on YouTube chat, I don't think the monitor is as resistant to Mike's Coke as the chair was.
Wait, was he the one who suggested the Coke?
Yeah,
last
I think
time?
it was one of the.
Okay. No naughty stuff today because these are very.
Hey, but is your
very-
chair sticky? Because I threw it over your chair.
Are we gonna?
Yeah.
No.
Could
Next
easily wipe
time,
it
guys. Okay, the gaming monitors. Yeah, I think you all know, it's no news that we have been pumping out monitors for the past few years. So it's really been one of our highest priority, product units, where we really tried to keep, innovating and providing you guys with more options, and especially a lot of focus on esports, competitive gaming monitors. This is also, today's lineup, of course. So we have. If you go to our website, you'll see we have tons of monitors. At times, yes, it can be a little bit confusing as to, okay, but what's the difference between this one and that one? There are so many options. Why is this one better suited for esports than, for example, the curved ones? Or, what do you need, a 32-inch or is 27-inch better?
Or do you need 40-inch?
Exactly. And nowadays there's even like 4K panels becoming more and more mainstream. What kind of specs will fit you? That's more or less today what we're trying to tackle with 5 of the selected models that we have.
But we're specifically focusing on one segment, esports.
Yes. And of course there you can also see we have Valorant, of course. So today at the end of the live stream we'll also do the live performance with Valorant.
I have to play as well, right?
Yep, you have to as well.
It's been a while. Last time I played it was when it just came out. We played it on stream. I haven't played it since, so I'm maybe a bit rusty.
But your problem might be, your mouth pad is just not big enough for your.
Yeah,
your
I've got like multiple keyboards and mice in front of me, also to switch all the scenes and stuff. So I don't have enough space. So if you hear a very loud sound, then I'm probably bumping into my keyboard with my mouse. But the good thing, I'm using a tankless keyboard, so it's slightly smaller. The one that we had in last week's live stream, the GK50 low profile TKL. So I save a little bit of extra space.
Lucky you. Well, actually, I have more space than you, so it doesn't really matter for me. Anyways.
You should be fine, right?
Yep. Syntax is saying in the chat, one monitor that got my interest is the MEG271Q mini LED. You are very up to date because that one we announced during this year's CES, so it hasn't been that long yet. That's definitely one of the hero products where we have prompt the most innovations, but that's probably the only things that I can tell you for now.
Hey Jack, I got some soda again. Shall I throw it over your chair?
I really don't feel like getting up. So.
Not today? Not today?
No. Troy is also saying on Twitch, I'm into Valorant nowadays. Yes, actually, me and my friends, we're also considering really getting into it as a group. We're getting tired of Call of Duty, so we're really looking into some other areas where we can start dominating. Destiny 2 is also a nice game. But okay. So I really hope I have a monitor lined up for everybody, so you can at least have a sort of a pick if you're still upgrading from a potato 60 Hz monitor. So we have right now here 3 models lined up, and actually I have here another one as well. But as you can see, the table is kind of running a little bit full, so this one is just going to sit underneath the table for now. Okay, this one, so you can already see it's a native GSync monitor. So let me just give you a brief introduction as to what we have lined up today. So we have for the 1080p aspect, we have 3 models. For today, we have the MAG 275R, we have the MAG 251RX, and we have the NXG, which is our native G-Sync with the G-Sync module, the NXG 253R. So those 3 are the 1080p options, which I will go through in the same order as well. And then we also have one option for Quad HD or 1440p, which is our MPG 321 QRF QD. So yeah, if you have watched our past live streams, especially for monitors part, I think you're kind of familiar with some of the models at least that I'm mentioning today. So and then we have one more model for our 4K enthusiasts. So yeah, we have the MAG 281 URF, which is the 4K option.
Many pixels.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, and actually of the 5 models, Michiel already stole one, which is sitting right in front of him, which he will also use to play Valorant with me. You know, since he's not that well with the game, not that familiar, I figured, you know, at least give him a very capable monitor, so it cannot be the monitor's fault if something goes wrong.
Yeah, I'm playing on a 240 Hz, so
yeah,
that shouldn't be the reason if I lose
nice.
today.
All right, so when we talk about like classes, like when you go from like entry level to high-end monitors, what do we mean? We mean that you can have a monitor which is like the 275R, which is a very basic but very capable monitor, which is basically a no-nonsense package where you have a great refresh rate, a very solid build quality, and the basic features that you need for your gaming essentials. But of course, if you want to have more features, you know, even higher specs, that's when you try to look past the MAG 275R, and then you will have to go to the in today's guide. For example, if you want to stay in 1080p, you go to the MAG 251RX, which Michiel has right now. That model is like already a high-end model with a 240 Hz refresh rate. But if you want to go even higher, we also have models, well, singular, one model for that section on 1080p, which is the G-Sync model, which has 360 Hz refresh rate. So in the 1080p category, really, you know, we have like there the entry, the higher model, and then really the extreme model where you really want to squeeze every possible elements out of the monitor spec-wise. So then, if you don't care about 1080p, we have 2 more models, like I suggested already, and I will go through them all one by one. So don't worry. And if you have any questions regarding any of the models, just let us know in the chat. And if you just joined in our Twitch channel and our YouTube channel, you can post your comments in the chat live, and we can try to keep up with what you guys are saying or suggesting or feedbacking. Okay.
See a question in chat. Irvin is asking, what is the top of the line? It depends a little bit, because the monitors, they differ from each other in different ways. So some monitors have an extremely high refresh rate. For example, the 360 Hz monitor that you see in front now. But it, for example, has a 1080p resolution. Other people want a higher resolution, but that will come at the exchange of a somewhat lower refresh rate. So it depends a bit on where your priorities are, also in terms of size. I would say usually for like the real eSports enthusiast that really only care about getting basically the best performance in the game, their resolution is not that big of an issue, so 1080p is fine for that, and they usually go for just the highest refresh rate possible. So they will definitely go, for example, for a 360 Hz monitor. If you also want to do other things on your computer, if you're for example, play eSports games, but also do some maybe photo or video editing on the side, then probably you want to go for a somewhat higher resolution. So yeah, it all depends on what you're looking for. It's not specifically like there is one top of the line model that sits above all the others.
Yeah.
It's always a bit of a trade-off of what you want.
But if you really want to know, then you have to be a little bit specific regarding a question. You can change your question regarding how to ask it. For example, you can say which is the top of the line for 1080p, or top of the line when you care about refresh rate. So if you are a little bit more specific, then we can tell you better which ones are better suited for what you're asking for. Okay, so yeah, Michiel also briefly talked about the scenarios as to what the monitors are made for. So one monitor, like the 4K option, it's more made for if you really want to see more details and clarities and have a really high PPI pixel density, because the 4K monitor is sitting at 28 inches. So you can imagine that it's so sharp, it's going to cut through your eyes straight away.
Yeah, so the pixel density is really high on that one.
So then, yeah, if you don't really care about the pixel density, like how sharp your monitor actually is at the size, if you just want to have the high refresh rate, these are the kind of questions that you have to ask yourself if you're planning on getting a monitor that's best suited for the games that you play most of the time. So of course there are also gamers who play competitive games. There are also people playing AAA title games like Dying Light 2. It really depends on what kind of games you play, and if you most of the time play competitive games, these kind of scenarios, really what you're trying to look for is a monitor that's really capable when it comes to refresh rate. And that's one of the most important questions that you have to answer. And then if you also want to have a monitor that's also very suited for AAA title games, then you try to look for the wide color gamut. What's the Adobe and sRGB values? Is it curved? Is it flat? Does it have quantum dot, for example? What about the syncing technology? So then you try to broaden your search. But hopefully today we can answer many of those kind of questions for you already. Yeah. Okay, so then let me just start with the entry-level model in our 1080p setup. I have to look at which monitor that is, because from the back some of them are actually all the same. So, got it. And the rest can take a break underneath the table.
Ray is asking on YouTube, where can I get an MSI gaming chip?
You mean like this one?
It's best to check with your local reseller. Depends a bit which models are available where. But in general, they should be available worldwide quite well nowadays. So you should be able to find one.
So here we have the MAG 275R, which is a very solid, no-nonsense, basic eSports gaming monitor. It's flat. It has, let me show you like this. It has 144 Hz refresh rate, which is, if you are familiar, a kind of like a golden standard as to a high refresh rate monitor. If you're coming from a 60 Hz monitor, then this is going to blow you away. What kind of difference this is going to show. So this one also has an IPS panel. It has adjustable stand. So you can really try to be very ergonomic with the model. So really any direction you can imagine.
Or if you want to,
vertical,
if you, for example, use a multi-monitor
also
setup, possible.
You
can also use, for example, the VESA mount on the back. So you can take the stand off and you can put it on basically any VESA 100 by 100 millimeter mount that you can find.
Yeah, so if you're using this one as a second monitor as well, and you would like to have portrait mode for any scenarios where you might want to have that, that's definitely no problem with the 275R. No worry guys, you don't have to remember all the specs by heart, because in a bit when I have more or less introduced all the models to you, I will also show you in details a comparison table where every little single spec that's interesting to you is lined up, so you can have a good overview of all the models that we're talking about today. And yeah, really have a good review for yourself as well. But now I'm just trying to highlight some of its functionalities or specs and features, and also what is this monitor more or less meant for. It's a great option if you want to play high refresh rate games, high FPS games, but it's also a very good option when you want to play AAA titles as well. Yes, it is flat, so if you want to have more immersion, then yes, of course, obviously we do recommend you to look for a counterpart which is curved, and we have a ton of those options as well.
Yeah, Gigaram, for example, says in YouTube chat, I'm using a 32-inch curved screen. I don't think I could go back to a flat panel now. Yeah, it really depends on mostly what kind of games you play. If you play more of those AAA titles, the more immersive titles, where you really want to be drawn into the story, then I definitely think like a 32-inch curved screen definitely adds something. Often for eSports titles like Counter-Strike, Valorant, Rocket League, all those kind of titles, there you want to have a clear overview. So usually you go for a somewhat smaller monitor, and also flat. It's usually more popular for people who play esports titles. It doesn't mean, of course, that you cannot play them on a curved monitor, but we see in general that people who play esports titles, they generally prefer flat panels, whereas people who want to be more immersed into the game, they usually go for curved monitors.
All right, so on the back, what else do we have here? Of course, our iconic 5-8 joystick. This is where you have to be when you want to use the OSD, the on-screen display. We have here a strip, which is RGB, of course, powered by our Mystic Light. And if we take a look at here, of course, there's also the Kensington lock. Let me show you the power connectors here as well. Just touch the webcam. Let me turn the, all right. So yeah, here you have your usual suspects, really nothing in particular that I can or should highlight. You can see for yourself. We have two HDMI ports right here, the 2.0s, not 2.1. Of course, we have the display port, the 1.1, and also a USB Type-C with display alternative, and of course we have the
so basically the Type-C can also work as a display port,
and then two more USBs and a headphone jack. So this one doesn't have a power brick, well, it doesn't have a power supply in the monitor, but it has a added power adapter, which also is the reason why the monitor can stay as thin as this. So on the front, really nothing that much to tell, except for if you wonder about how much edge you actually have. So here really our well, usual bezel-less design with some of my fingerprints as bonus. Always
limited edition. Joseph is asking HDMI 1.4. No, this is HDMI 2.0 on this one.
Yeah.
I also see a question. Charlie's asking, don't know if I missed it, but is this monitor 1440p or 1080p?
This is 1080p. So some basic specs regarding the 275R lineup. This is a 1080p monitor sitting at 27 inches, hence it's called 27. 5. The 5 simply just indicates it's the 5th generation already from the 27 MHE series. Furthermore, yeah, it has 144 Hz refresh rate with up to 1 millisecond response time. It also has RGB, adjustable stand, and of course our Mystic Light. Furthermore, if you want to have HDR, this is really where this kind of basic models, where the entry model does not include the HDR functionality. But like I said, this is really meant for if you're on a budget and you want to get into a competitive gaming. This really offers all the basic specs that you would want to have for a high refresh rate and fast response time gaming monitor. at 27 inches. So
It kind of ties into a question from Theodore. He's asking, is this monitor good for AAA titles and RTX 3060 Ti? Yeah, you can definitely play AAA titles on this. But for example, if you want to have all the details, all the eye candy, if you want to have HDR, for example, if you want to have full immersion, probably like a higher end curved monitor can definitely add to the experience for AAA titles. But yes, you can definitely play it on a monitor like this. But in general, it's more of an eSports type game focused monitor.
Exactly.
So if you only play AAA titles, there may be better models out there for you. But of course, also dependent on your budget.
But since this is still an IPS panel, so it's not VA, it's not TN, it's still a nice IPS panel with actually quite great color gamuts when you talk about like Adobe RGB or sRGB. When it comes to color reproduction and a few angles, so realism overall, this is actually quite a capable monitor considering what kind of price range we're sitting at for this entry model. So if you want to have some leisure time and you don't want to be so competitive, you want to enjoy some stories in single player games as well, still a good option. But like Michiel said, if you truly want to get into AAA title games, we suggest you to get some different specs and also different kind of curved panels.
I see a very interesting question from Coil on YouTube chat. What's a good response time? I think you mean refresh rate. And at what point is it overkill? Well, response time and refresh rate are kind of tied to each other to a certain extent, of course. But yeah, a good refresh rate really depends on the person. It also really depends on what kind of games you play. And that will also decide whether or not it's overkill for you. Because if you play, for example, more strategic kind of games, refresh rate is not as big of a factor as it is as, for example, for a first-person shooter or other very fast games like Rocket League. Those kind of games, you really notice a very big difference between high refresh rate monitors and regular monitors. Also, if you have like those fast-paced first-person shooters or fast-paced games, that's where it's basically the higher the refresh rate, the better. Of course, at a certain point, you get diminishing returns. So the step from 60 Hertz to 144 or 165 Hertz, it's a huge difference. It's like day and night. If you make a step from 144 to 165 to 240, I can definitely notice the difference between them. But it's not as big of a difference as you have from when going from 60 to 144, for example. So it's definitely noticeable and it's definitely smoother, and even more so if you go even to 360 Hertz. But those are really the kind of monitors where it's really all about that slight competitive edge for the extremely competitive players. So if you're more of a casual player who plays esports games, so if you casually play some Counter-Strike or Valorant or Rocket League, I think you would be perfectly fine with a 144 or 165 Hertz. If you really want the best of the best performance in game, then of course a 240 Hertz or 360 Hertz could be worth it.
I see Mr. Master Docs is also in the chat. Awesome, always there for us. Mirko is asking, do you have monitors with RGB and 240 Hertz? Greetings from Serbia. Actually, yeah, we actually have one of the models in today's showcase as well, except that it's on Michiel's desk.
It's in front of me.
Yeah, but I have some information to show you guys actually right now, because that's coming up after this model, this MAG275. We're talking about the MAG251RX, which has RGB, just like you asked, and 240 Hertz refresh rate. For that model, since I don't have the physical monitor, it's all lined up because we actually need it from Michiel later, so we can't really just untangle everything and bring it here and blah blah blah. It's a lot of logistics work. So I have some digital materials to show you of what it is. So here, the MAG251RX. This one is sitting at 25 inches. It has, let me put this one underneath the table first. All right. So this one here we have a quite a few summary regarding. Oh, I'm sitting in front of night vision. I see. like this. Okay, so we have quite a few specs and features lined up here already as a summary for you, but in more details, this monitor, yeah, it's powered by GSync compatible. It has a 240 Hz refresh rate, and of course, it's still a IPS panel, so you still have an excellent viewing angles and also color reproduction and realism when it comes to these kind of aspects do you think are important, so you have those here as well. It also comes with gaming OSD app, so any sort of settings or features, gaming features that you would like to change, you can use the app. You have joined our previous monitors live streams. I think you're very familiar with the Gaming OSD app because I have shown it quite a few times during the live streams. Yeah, so furthermore, this monitor really shines when it comes to refresh rate. So compared to the traditional 144 Hz, this one has a 240 Hz refresh rate. So really, before the 360 monitors came out, this was like the dominating refresh rate. Yeah, it actually still gives you more benefit when it comes to 144. So yeah, we have to be honest as well. It's not like the 240 Hz is like a heavenly difference as to what you're watching, what you're seeing compared to 144, but it definitely still gives you an edge, a competitive edge, as well as it still lowers the latency. So the higher your refresh rate actually goes, the better the latency overall as well. So really, if you are the kind of persons that truly want to have, really when it comes to esports, competitive gaming, you want to have more than just the standard package, this is definitely one of the options that you have to look at. And yeah, especially for leisure and other entertainment areas, this model also has HDR 400. So it's not a plain HDR ready model, it has a HDR 400 option, which is actually, if you're really into HDR, sure, there are HDR 600, 800,000 models, but those models are all very costly as well. So if you want to get into HDR 400 is actually quite a good step up into that world. And yeah, overall, this is really a very all-round monitor that will get you from A to B without you breaking a sweat, because when it comes to esports, definitely one of the best models that we have nowadays. Even though this monitor is already, I believe, a year old, give or take. Yeah. But it's still, one of the best models that we have when it comes to esports. So
and it's quite a lot more affordable also than, for example, getting a 360 Hz monitor.
Definitely.
So yeah, I quite often get the question, like, should I upgrade, for example, from a 144 to a 240 Hz monitor, or even a 360? That very much depends on how serious you are about gaming. But in general, if you're still on 60 Hz, I would, no matter if you play AAA titles or esports games, I would definitely suggest to go for, at least 100 Hz plus. Most models will be 144 or higher then, but I think from 60 going to 100 plus is a huge difference, and especially 60 to 144 plus it's really day and night. And not only for esports titles, but also in AAA titles, I would say a 144 Hz monitor already plays a lot more comfortable than a 60 Hz monitor.
Quite a few
Joseph
questions.
has a question on Twitch chat. He's asking if the Type-C connector is for notebook, and to use 240 Hz if you need to use DVI or DisplayPort. Well, DVI, the monitors don't have anymore. But actually the Type-C is basically a DisplayPort in a different connector. So it's the DisplayPort alt mode within the Type-C. So basically, when using the Type-C, you get the same characteristics as what you would get on DisplayPort. So you can definitely run it at 240 Hz from DisplayPort. It's not specifically for notebooks. For example, certain GeForce RTX 20 series cards came with a USB Type-C connector on the back. That one is also perfectly fine to use if you want to run that monitor in 240 Hz. But actually, you can also use this monitor in 240 Hz on HDMI as well. So it's up to you.
JMJM is asking in Twitch, what is night vision? Good question. Night vision, traditionally it was a black equalizer, but night vision, what it does is that it eliminates the disadvantage of the traditional black equalizer, where it will just brighten the entire frame. So usually you get a very washed out, overexposed image and frame. So what night vision has improved upon is that instead of really overexposing the entire frame, it will intelligently look for the dark areas only, and then expose the details in the dark areas without lighting up, really overexposing the well-lit areas already. So that's night vision and better version from of black equalizer, where you can see better in dark areas. And you can use that in our gaming software. You can use a hotkey, you can use the joystick to activate it. So many ways that you can use it as well.
Atlas asking, is there a big difference between 240 Hz and 360 Hz? I would say for the majority of gamers it is a relatively small difference between those two, because 240 Hz is already really high. I would say this is like for the very competitive 10%. So the people who really want that slight edge and also play on a somewhat higher level, then I would say it can make a difference if you go from 240 to 360. But for the majority, and especially the more casual esports title players, I would say 240 is already perfectly fine. It already gives you a really good experience. So.
There was also another question because he just joined the stream. This model, it's a 1080p model as well, so setting at 25 inches, 1080p and 25 inches. Have we gotten most of the questions?
Yeah, I think we do.
All right, then I think maybe in the meantime you guys can think of more questions or even feedback, and we can maybe already draw our first winner for today.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah. So for many of you who just joined the live stream today, we're giving away many Dying Light 2 game codes. If you're very interested in the game, definitely make sure to check out the live stream that I did also with Michiel 2 weeks ago, where we actually had the render director from Tagland, the makers of Dying Light 2, joining us for an interview as well. So many interesting aspects were spoken of in that interview. But yes, go to msi.com/2/insider, and there you can see many actions that you can perform in order to still win one of today's Dying Light 2 game codes. And
I have our first winner for today, just to make sure. This is just for the regular game. The collector's edition we will draw at the very end of the stream. So this is just for a regular game code for Dying Light 2, and our first winner for today is Nightwatch. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
You won a game code for Dying Light 2, so please keep an eye out on your mailbox, then we will email it to you in the coming days with some instructions on how to redeem it.
And when playing Dying Light 2, guys, definitely make sure to have your lights turned on, because otherwise you're really gonna probably crap your pants. Congratulations, man. Have fun with it. In the coming days, I will email you guys the winners with the game codes, and also the instruction as to how to redeem the code. So make sure to check your inbox in the coming days. Okie dokie. So we have more to come. If you haven't won on the first try, don't worry. You're still in the drawing pool for the upcoming drawings, so you can still
have more to give away today.
Yeah, definitely.
Hello, Hussein.
Hussein, yes, hello. You're a little bit late, young man. Okay, so that was our 251RX, which is also the GSync compatible option. If you have any questions regarding that, let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to move on to the next model for today, which is where you talk about 1080p and you really want to have the maximum esports experience. Then this is really the bad boy that you have to consider. But of course, obviously, this one is also 360 Hz when it comes to refresh rate, and obviously right now, especially sitting at the IPS panel as well, it does cost a few bucks. Hence also this is our highest recommendation when it comes to esports experience for really the true enthusiast out there. So if you are kind of like me and you really enjoy every little aspects, every little piece of advantage that your hardware can give you, then more or less this is pretty much the translation of that when you talk about 1080p gaming monitors with the highest refresh rate.
Now Hussein says, I just came back from uni. Okay, that's a good excuse.
He just came back from what?
From university.
No.
That's a fair
You
excuse.
could have joined in the bus.
Mr. Mastodon is asking TN. It's IPS, right?
IPS.
Yes, IPS.
Actually, yes. So the first generation of the NXG25 series, the NXG25 or 251R, was indeed the TN with a 240 Hz refresh rate. But yeah, since technology has improved quite significantly in the past year or 2 years, IPS has been performing really well when it comes to responsiveness and how fast the refresh rate or how high it can get. So
Because in the very beginning, for 240 Hz, your 240 Hz only option was TN. But nowadays, IPS panels can reach very high refresh rates.
Okay, yeah, so I'm just going to continue if there's anything you can just let me know.
One interesting question on YouTube. Do you notice a difference between a VSync and GSync when playing AAA title games, not eSports? I would say yes. Still, if you play AAA titles that involve, for example, looking around you, so by moving your mouse like in first person, with VSync, I can clearly notice a delay. The delay on GSync, but also FreeSync, is much lower than it is for VSync. So yes, even for AAA titles, of course it depends on what kind of AAA title you play. For strategy games, you probably won't notice it as much as you will for any first-person type of game. But yes, I would say you do notice that. Mirko was also asking, do you have AMD FreeSync and GSync for monitors? Yes, the one Jan now has in front of him is a GSync monitor with also the GSync hardware module
it's already
in there.
a native GSync monitor.
Yeah, the monitor that he just talked about that I'm currently using right here is a GSync compatible monitor. That one, for example, also supports AMD FreeSync. It doesn't have like a hardware module, but it still works fine with syncing your refresh rate to your frame rate.
Okay, so let me show you the monitor in a bit more detail. So yeah, this part looks a little bit weird, just like the logo from NVIDIA, but that's obviously because we have a digital background, which is the green screen, so we are keying away anything that looks green. So this looks quite weird because, yeah, they're green, obviously. So the back has a brushed metal look. When it comes to RGB, this is the part that lights up with our Mystic Light RGB. And as you can see here, yeah, I think my Michiel is doing some magic with
Let me
chroma
quickly
key.
show you
There
what
we
it
go.
looks like without the chroma
Where
key.
did the background go?
The background is gone, but this is what it actually looks like.
Yeah. So the really green team all the way.
NVIDIA logos and chroma key is a difficult combination.
And here, if you have paid attention already, you can also guess that this probably also has VESA mount. Yes, indeed, this also has the 10x10, the standard VESA mount measurements. Here we have the same 5-way joystick that you will find on all of our gaming monitors.
Musical Eclipse says on Twitch chat, immersion ruined. Sorry about that. But hey, this is an eSports stream, so no immersion today.
So let me show you guys the I/O ports sitting here. So we have 2 HDMI ports and a display port again. So here, you know, obviously you don't expect any HDMI 2.1s since this is only a 1080p monitor. We don't need all that bandwidth. And pretty simple layout. We have the headphone jack, we have the power connection, and of course the USB upstream, the USB Type B. So if you're wondering, okay, don't we get any USB ports with this model? Of course you do, but since this one has a very special little feature, which is called the NVIDIA Reflex Analyzer, they are positioned here, which is directly also connected with the chip module inside. And of course, later I will actually use this model to play and demonstrate the live performance with Valorant. I will also, of course, show you how to use the Reflex Analyzer, what settings you have to you know, go to, and what this means. So basically, I can already tell you what it means. This means that, of course, you need to have a monitor that's compatible or that has the feature, the Reflex Analyzer, like this model. And then if you have a mouse that's also certified by NVIDIA, then you will have the best combination when it comes to reducing your latency. So what this does is that in combination with the mouse, you will have the best optimized latency when it comes to your mouse click rate, when it comes, so when you click the mouse and how fast it will actually translate into in-game reaction, in-game action.
Mr. Masterdox is asking on Twitch chat, does it have GSync hardware? This specific model does, right?
Yes.
So it depends. Some of our models are GSync compatible, but this is not a GSync compatible one. This is an actual GSync monitor.
And that's also one of the reasons why this model is, kind of on the thick side. It's not as thin as the models because this one has much more hardware packed inside. Also many NVIDIA hardware inside as well, since this is a full native NVIDIA monitor. Then if we take a look at the front side, well, not much that I can tell you except that it's a very clean design. We don't even have anything that's sticking out from the bezels.
Nothing that can distract you from the game?
Yep. Again, the same bezel-less design. And of course, there's also adjustable stand.
Califanish is asking, is it a speaker or just perforation on the left side? I don't think there are any speakers in there, right?
No, there's no speaker. Any holes that you might find on the where is it? Oh, here.
And Expresso is asking what the model name was of this one.
This is the NXG253R. That's it. So this model is sitting at 25 inches. Really, we do still see the trend as to, especially when you talk about pros and people that have really been into competitive gaming, the 24 and 25 inches are still very, very popular options. So really for the real enthusiasts. And this one is also 1080p. So really all the specs kind of scream like this is an eSports monitor. So if you want to have more details, more clarity, from what you will get from 1440p or from 4K, this is a 1080p monitor. And so the panel is IPS, and there's a GSync module in here with the analyzer, the Reflex Analyzer, which will reduce your latency. And furthermore, it has a 360 Hertz refresh rate, but something else that's also really where the technology is being pushed to the limit, which is the response time. So of course, everybody is aware and familiar with 1 millisecond response time or up to. Because yes, in majority of the cases, this is not something that people usually tell you. But when you see 1 ms, and it doesn't matter from which manufacturer, everyone, all the hardware are the same in this area, is that your response time can go up to as fast as 1 millisecond. And this one actually goes even beyond, because this one goes all the way up to 0.5 milliseconds, so 50% increasement in performance when you compare this with the 99% 1 millisecond response time monitors out there. It doesn't sound much, but actually it's really, really hard to achieve technology-wise to really go from 1 to 0.5, because that's still a 50% step up from what the technology allowed like a year back. And everything being packed into a IPS panel. So any questions you have, let me know. But later I will also set this up after I have introduced the last model to really continue with this and showcase this with Reflex Analyzer and Valorant as well. Okay.
I saw an interesting question. Let me quickly scroll up a bit.
And while you're looking for the question, let me just show you, if you don't know, what kind of sizes, or how big is 25 inches now really compared to 27 inches. this is 25, and this, what I'm getting up right now, is 27. So okay, let me line this up. So there's definitely some difference, but
Shisher had an interesting question. What is the difference between G-Sync compatible versus having a G-Sync module? Isn't G-Sync module used for HDR and stuff? And shouldn't G-Sync compatible be enough for 360 Hz variable refresh rate? The G-Sync, there are two kinds of G-Sync that use a module. You have like the regular G-Sync, and you have G-Sync Ultimate. And the G-Sync Ultimate is the one that has the more advanced HDR features and also has certain requirements on how many nits it can produce. So basically,
it's
the
comparable with
brightness
like
that
the
it can
HD or the FreeSync Premium Pro, where they focus on HDR.
Yeah. The main difference between having the official G-Sync and the G-Sync compatible, G-Sync compatible actually works through the VESA standard for variable refresh rates, same as the standard FreeSync does, for example. But having the module requires, like the actual G-Sync monitors require a lot more verification. They also have like a certain color calibration already out of the box that has been defined by NVIDIA. And also it basically guarantees that in more difficult situations it can also properly do the variable refresh rate, whereas sometimes with G-Sync compatible ones, in very specific situations it can become more of a challenge. So yeah, in theory, yes, G-Sync compatible should also be fine for 360 Hz variable refresh rate, but basically having the actual G-Sync screen had a lot more verification in very difficult situations as well. So it's more guaranteed that in basically any situation it will work fine. So I believe from top of my head, like the actual G-Sync is like 300 plus verification tests, whereas with G-Sync compatible, something like 28, yeah, something like that.
Sorry,
I believe like the number of tests NVIDIA does to certify monitors for either G-Sync compatible or G-Sync.
It was like 30,
I believe it's like more than 10 times as many tests they perform on actual G-Sync monitors.
It's very strict, and
it's extremely strict.
For manufacturers,
yes.
It's actually really hard to get through NVIDIA certification process. But that's of course is a good thing, right?
Yeah.
So it really
G-Sync compatible is already quite strict.
Yeah.
That's why many early FreeSync monitors that in theory could also work with G-Sync compatible because it's the VESA standard. But they didn't pass all those NVIDIA tests.
Yeah.
And the G-Sync, like the actual G-Sync, like the model in front of Jar right now, has to pass even more than 10 times that number of tests.
Yeah, and an interesting fact to add to that. So when you really have like a native G-Sync monitor, you would also tend to see that those kind of monitors have less features, not specs, features compared to say other monitors which are not native G-Sync. And that's because NVIDIA has actually a lot to say regarding the monitor itself, because they really want to ensure the highest compatibility, the highest consistency in their capability, in the G-Sync's capability. Hence, many features that manufacturers want to put into the monitor get disabled or get scrapped entirely, because nobody wants to have any inconsistency in the true native G-Sync experience. So that's something that you tend to see with G-Sync monitors.
Mario also mentions in the chat G-Sync and G-Sync compatible. It's also a difference in refresh bandwidth. G-Sync syncs with almost 0 Hz to the maximum of the monitor. G-Sync compatible only goes from 40 Hz to the maximum refresh rate of the monitor. It depends a bit per monitor, per G-Sync compatible monitor, like how low it can go, basically.
Yeah, it has a lot to do with LFC as well.
Yeah, there are models that even can go to 30 Hz that are G-Sync compatible. Some start from 48 Hz, for example, and they indeed go to the maximum refresh rate of the monitor. So that differs a bit per exact model. So basically, when you have like an actual G-Sync monitor versus a G-Sync compatible monitor, with the actual G-Sync monitors, you're guaranteed to have basically the full refresh rate of the monitor with variable refresh rate. Whereas with compatible, it can differ per model a bit. So the VESA standard basically gives a lot more freedom in what kind of monitor you make exactly, whereas NVIDIA sets very specific standards for their GSync label. SWAT is asking, is there a 1440p 240Hz monitor from MSI?
Right now, not in that combination.
But maybe there will be one in the future.
Okay, so time for the next one. Whoop. Actually, I'm not gonna put this down since I'm gonna need this. Okay, my laptop is there. Okay, time for.
Mario says I said 40 because it's in the middle. Yes, yeah, that's correct indeed. It's usually somewhere around 40 depending on the model. Raphael is asking, does it do FreeSync? The GSync monitors don't. The GSync compatible monitors do. So that's an important difference.
Sure, it keeps on moving. It's so smooth. It doesn't stop. Okay, stop. So we have dealt with 3 1080p models. So this one is our MPG 321 QRF quantum dot version. This one is 32 inches. So like I said, we try to address all of your needs. Some people prefer to have more screen real estate. Some people sit further away from the monitor because they have a very big or a deep table. So yeah, this one is really if you want to have more clarity, more details, because this one is also a 1440p Quad HD monitor sitting at 32 inches. So you really have a lot more screen real estate compared to the previous 25 and 27 models sitting at 1080p. Let me show you the front since we're doing this. This monitor actually is a very, very, very capable monitor for AAA title games as well. And I will explain why in just a second. But right now, just to avoid the questions, because I can already feel questions coming in saying, hey, is that a camera staring at me in the face all the time? No, it's not. This one is not a camera. This is just a sensor. So it cannot see visuals. It can only detect light. So it will measure the lighting situation in your room and then automatically adjust the screen's brightness according to how well the room is being lit. So
it's basically something you also see on your mobile phone.
Yes.
They also have like a sensor that measures the light.
So don't worry, it's not a webcam. So you don't have to worry about your privacy if you worry about your privacy. And the edges, again, just like all of the models we have, we try to do a bezel-less design. This one, if you wonder what it is, it's a mouse bungee. Basically what you do is that you take your mouse and you put the cable in the bungee and you make sure it's put into the rubber so it doesn't really move around. Well, the cable doesn't move around on your table. You will have a better setup when it comes to a clean desk, and also that your cables will never get jammed up with stuff that's laying on your table. This one, if you don't want it, don't worry, you can just unclick it and take it off. And if you're a lefty, you can also put this on the left side as well, since they have the same structure underneath, so you can use this both ways. Now, the back side, which is a lot more interesting.
I see some people talking about the sensor. MSI is spying on you. If you're worried that we're spying on you, you can always put a little piece of tape over it, but then your feature won't work anymore. It will automatically adjust your brightness. But you can, of course, do that manually if you're afraid of being spied on.
Yes, so the backside, again, the same face mount story 10x10, the standard. We do have a very premium logo emblem that's sitting right here. It's actually a separate element that's sitting on the cover, which is a kind of like a brushed metal look. Again, on the top we have a carbon effect material. So if you ask me, quite a neat looking monitor on the backside, quite tight. And of course there is also RGB, which is sitting here. And the IOs, let's check it out. This one actually has a built-in power supply, so the power delivery is already built into the monitor itself. Hence, you see this power connector right here, so which means you can only stick, all you have to do is stick in the cable and that's it. There's no external adapter, it's already inside. Here we have the I/O, pretty straightforward. 2 HDMI 2.1s and then the display port 1.4 with a Type-C and display alt mode again, USB upload and also a USB connection, a 3.2 Gen 1 as well, and of course headphone jack. And okay, let me show you the sides as to how thick it actually is. Considering that this actually has a built-in power delivery system, a power supply, it's actually quite thin. And the other side, we have even more options available. If you're really into peripherals, we have a separated USB 3.2 Gen 1s and more headphone jacks and microphone jack. So this monitor, why I say that this is not only a very capable esports option, but it's also a capable AAA title game monitor, because this one actually has quite a crazy amount of high ratio when it comes to the color gamut. Can you guess why? Because I did mention one very specific feature that this one has. Yes, quantum dot. So this monitor is really, when it comes to color reproduction and realism, it's quite off the chart. And that's because the quantum dot layer, which is actually a hardware, it's a extra layer inside the panel that really transforms the light, how light is being emitted and absorbed in such a way that it really translates into a very, actually a much better color reproductive monitor and accurate monitor. So yes, this one has quantum dot, and in case you missed it, it's sitting at 32 inches and 1440p. And the HDR experience here is really awesome. It's a certified HDR 600. So I mentioned already, if you want to get into HDR 400, is a good entry. But if you really want to enjoy a good HDR experience, you got to look at 600, 800. And if you really want to have the best experience, you look at HDR 1000.
So basically, the higher the number,
yes,
the better the HDR experience you're getting.
The capability, indeed.
Yeah.
This one is actually really heavy as well. So the QRF, which, the Q, it's like Quad HD. You have the R, the RGB, and then the F. We also have the adjustable stand as well. So let me show you the adjustable stand ratio.
It's a good question from Mr. Masterdogs. He's asking, does it have the 4K input compatibility for consoles?
No, it doesn't. But it does have a console mode. Oh, wait, I think I understood the question wrong. Yes. So if you're playing on 4K, then the monitor has a console mode feature, which will then automatically transform the 4K signal into a 2K signal, which is the Quad HD's resolution.
Yeah, so it will automatically downscale it to the correct resolution for the
exactly. Something else that you should know is that monitors that don't have these kind of features, you will have a lot of a difficult time, because it will then get downgraded into Full HD, which is something that you don't want to have. Anything else? Otherwise, I'm just gonna go on with the refresh rate for this one is 175 hertz. Basically more than the basic model that I told you about at the beginning, the 275R, which has 144 hertz. So yeah, just really something extra. Also improved latency here because it has higher refresh rate and 1 millisecond response time. So a lot of the goodies are sitting right in this monitor. Excellent for esports with this flat panel, but since it's such a capable monitor when it comes to color reproduction and HDR experience as well, you can definitely make sure to also enjoy other entertaining areas as well.
Mario's also asking on YouTube chat, does this one also have a VESA mount?
Yes, it's a 10 by 10, the standard one.
So you can use it on a different monitor stand, or if you want to have a wall mount or anything, or a desk mount.
Exactly. This one actually also has our gaming intelligence software, which is right now still a proprietary software that we only introduced in our MPG series. So the previous models, they were all the MAGs, except for the NXT one, because that's our GSync series. This one is the MPG, our performance series, where we really pack in more features, just like the light sensor, which will automatically adjust the brightness as well as the color temperature, a better HDR experience. We have the quantum dot packed into here. And we also offer gaming intelligence software, which is also something that I have shown and demonstrated in the live stream quite a few times. So really, guys, if you want to know this kind of information, all you gotta do is check out any monitor introductions that I have done in the live streams in our playlist, MSI Insider playlist, and you will find out what it is. So the gaming intelligence software will show you many of the gaming features like optic scope, where you can let's say, you can have a square on your screen which magnifies whatever it is that's within the square in the center of your screen. So you can do that anywhere with any game because it's a monitor feature. You can have a smart crosshair where the crosshair adapts its color automatically without any delay. It will contrast itself from whatever it is that you're aiming at. If it's dark, it will be bright. If it's like green, it will become blue. So yeah, all these kind of features, you can very easily find them and tune them in our gaming intelligence software with the MPG series gaming monitors.
Amit is asking, is the backlight LCD or LED? Well, LCD is more of the panel type, and for example TN, VA, IPS, they're all types of LCD displays. LED is indeed the backlight in this situation, so in the past you also had CCFL backlights, but newer monitors usually use LED backlight. Also makes energy consumption of those monitors, power consumption, a lot lower than the older CCFL ones. And nowadays you can also see certain monitors with mini LED, for example. OLED, it works in kind of a different way, where basically every pixel is illuminated by itself. But yeah, these are LED backlit monitors.
All right, then the last for today. Oh wait, that's not a one. There we go.
Compared to the previous one, it looks tiny, but it's not that small, right?
No, it's only a difference of 5 inches.
Oh, okay.
But of course, yes, there's still some difference. Yes, indeed. This
one has more of your fat fingers on it.
Switch the camera. Yes, so if you're not satisfied with 1440p, oh boy, do we have something for you. We even have a 4K option. So this really, of course, is really addressed to those who want to have the the highest clarity and details in a gaming monitor, especially since it's only setting at 28 inches. So yeah, if you really want to get into 4K gaming, even for esports, understandable, because there are many people out there that want to try out new stuff, and some people prefer to have a higher refresh rate and a lower refresh rate and higher clarity and pixel density. So yeah, to those of you out there, this is a very capable option. It's sitting at 4K. At a refresh rate of 144 Hz. It also has HDMI 2.1 mode, so yeah, everything really ready to go for the 4K option.
And it's also very interesting if you do a lot of other stuff on your computer than just playing games. If you're doing video editing, photo editing, stuff like that, then 4K resolution is definitely a big benefit, I think. In games, it depends a bit what you want. Usually, if you're going for those very competitive titles, you usually also want to have a very high frame rate. And of course, pushing many frames on a 4K resolution is much, much harder than pushing those kind of frame rates on a 1080p resolution. So yeah.
I see Cobra is asking when will it be available to buy. Actually, all of the options that we're talking about today are already readily available around the world, so you should be able to find them, unless, of course, your local retailers or e-tailers didn't have any stock, or they were sold out, or he didn't order anything. Then it's kind of out of our control, but they should be available everywhere. And if you're wondering about the prices, no worries. I have an overview ready in just a moment where I can show you all of the specs lineup for all the monitors that I have talked about, with the prices as well. So yeah, this 4K option, if you want to try something new, definitely check out the MAG281 URF. This one also has the full adjustable stand capability, just like the other models that I've shown you. And since it's our flat options, you can use all of them in portrait mode as well. Okay, the backside is actually really familiar with the 275 option that I've been showing you. So really nothing spectacular to show here with the standard I/O options as well. Yeah, so truly what this monitor shines is what's inside. It's 4K capability with a high refresh rate and 1 millisecond response time. You also have HDR options here as well, HDR 400. Yeah, so IPS panel as well, sitting at 28 inches.
Mr. Masterdox has got a question. Which are sold the most? 1080p high refresh rate, 1440p high refresh rate, or 4K monitors? Definitely 1080p still.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, of course, has to do with simply the power that you need on your PC in order to push a high frame rate to 1440p. You need quite a beefy PC in order to properly do that. Of course, depends on the game. Like many esports titles are fine, but for more recent games, it's just very hard to push steady high frame rates to 1440p resolutions. So yeah, definitely 1080p high refresh rate is sold the most, still with quite a distance. Of course, we can see this switch a little bit towards higher resolutions, and 1440p high refresh rate is definitely increasing in popularity, but still 1080p high refresh rate is definitely sold the most.
All right. Cobra is also asking, when will the 1440p 300 Hz release? I can't really tell you, dude. So we'll have to wait and see, huh? If that's gonna be available. Okay. Okay, let's continue. So let's move on to the overview I've been telling you guys about. So pretty much these here are, okay, let me try to get out of the way a little bit. Are more or less
Go away, Ja.
the options.
We want to read.
Bye. Oh wait, I can also simply just do this. Wait, get this out of the way as well a little bit.
There we go, lounge mode.
So we have all of them here lined up. You can check out every single little spec as you would like to for your own review. I'm not gonna go through them one by one because I basically already covered everything already. But if you like to see the prices, they are available as well on the lowest row here. Let me get this underneath the table so you can have more visibility. So here you can check out all of the differences and what kind of model might fit your budget, and what kind of specs and features are you really looking for in a monitor. The first three, of course, obviously sitting at 1080p, and then the last one sitting at 1440p and 4K. So really, yeah, try to see for yourself what really fits your style and what are you looking for. So many of them are very different when it comes to capabilities, like the 360 Hz, really for somebody that's very into esports, and that person really wants to have the best of the best when it comes to refresh rate and the best latency. That's what he will go for at 1080p. But if that's not what you're looking for, check out the other options, because I am definitely going for the 360 Hz version right after this slide to get into Valorant.
Oh, so you're getting a little bit of a competitive advantage on me.
Oh yes, I'm making use of everything that's at my disposal. 360 hertz, 0.5 second response time, the mouse with Reflex Analyzer, all the goodies.
I thought you were treating me well with the 240 hertz, but
Yeah,
you didn't tell me that you were going to use the 360
I
hertz
did say
one.
I'm treating you well. I didn't say I'm going to treat you better than me. So.
Okay. I know how it is.
So that is how it is. Any questions for now, maybe? Okay, I see one there. Hulk from Twitch is asking, what's the difference between Gaming OSD 2.0 and Gaming Intelligence? The main difference is that in Gaming Intelligence, it actually uses the same API, so it's more or less the same software, but the Gaming Intelligence OSD has more features packed into it. It has a different layout because it packs gaming intelligence features, like the ones that I mentioned before, the optic scope, where you have a magnifier to make everything look bigger in a square in the center of your screen, at your liking, anytime you want, or the smart crosshair that adapts its color and contrast in real time without delay, or the AI night vision, the smart brightness feature. Those are the kind of features that you'll find in the Gaming Intelligence app instead of the Gaming OSD app. So yes, it very much depends on what kind of model you're talking about. And the Gaming Intelligence app right now, we only introduce in our MPG series, where we offer more features and values software-wise as well. Okay, then I guess everything already had the time to really go through them. And
Your Sins is asking, is the giveaway worldwide? Yes, it is.
I think it's time to finally get into the game itself and show you guys how to use the Reflex Analyzer as well, if you have the capable and certified hardware for it.
I'm going to... Oh, you have to put your monitor there, of course.
Yeah, I have to put it up because you have to draw a winner anyways, right? So I have the time to set it up.
Good idea.
So all good.
So if you haven't participated in the giveaway yet, go to msi.com/insider, or if you're watching on YouTube or Twitch, you can also follow the direct link to Gleam that our bot will put in the chat once every 5 minutes. For now, I'm drawing another code for just the game itself, so it's a game code for Dying Light 2. At the very end of the stream, we will have our special drawing where we will draw the winner of the collector's edition of Dying Light 2. And our next winner for today is Anton K. Congratulations, Anton. I don't know how I should pronounce it, but congratulations, you also won a game code for Dying Light 2.
Awesome, dude.
Yeah, congrats. So please keep an eye out in your mailbox, then probably Ja will email you the code in the coming days with some instructions on how to redeem it.
Yeah, if I don't keep the codes for myself and my friends, I will email them to you.
And if he does, we punish him, don't worry. Yeah, so if you haven't participated yet, make sure to do so. Also, if you're a returning viewer, make sure to claim your loyalty bonus as well in Gleam, because that will give you a slight edge in the giveaway. It gives you some extra entries for the giveaway. So you're connecting it through DisplayPort?
Yes. All right, I just have to connect the other side as well. So I'm gonna disappear for a second.
And you also have to swap your mouse to the monitor, right?
Yep,
For the reflex
it's not connected yet, so I'll connect it to the monitor, of course.
Do you have the right USB cable?
Yep.
Ah, perfect.
Okay.
Oh, your Sin says stay hydrated. Will do. Is your computer already on?
Just a second. Just a second.
Ja is not as fast as his monitor.
I wish.
Ja is still 60 hertz.
I would say I'm sitting at like around 120, 144 inch. Okay. So, okay. You should be getting visual.
Let me see. Yes.
Okie dokie. Let me start from the beginning and turn this off for now.
Ja,
Yes.
I have a special task for you.
Oh no.
I'm going to switch to my other PC here so I can see the game as well. You have to keep an eye on the chat because I won't be able to see it anymore.
All right.
Bye, chat.
But you can still occasionally switch if you want to say hello to everyone, huh? So guys, if you have any question for Michiel, just address me and I will relay the message. Okay, so first of all, I introduced to you guys that this monitor, the GSync 253R monitor, has the NVIDIA Reflex Analyzer feature. So for that, you will have to have a mouse. In order to have the best optimization with it, you will need a mouse that's also certified by GSync as well. So in our case, it's the Clutch GM41, which is also certified for NVIDIA Reflex Analyzer. So if you have
lightweight
this,
mouse.
you will have to plug the mouse into the port in the monitor that's dedicated for to the Reflex Analyzer feature. So only that port should be used for the mouse, otherwise it will not work. So obviously right now I have it sitting into the side of the monitor, which is right here with the mouse where it should be. And once you have done that, you need to go to, let me show you on the mobile phone camera, where you have to go in the monitor. So here,
Can you see the chat right now, by the way? Oh, I think we need to reconnect.
I can see the chat, but
you can?
Yeah, I can see the
okay,
chat.
Perfect.
Yes. All right, so on the monitor itself, you have to click on the 5-way joystick, and then it will bring out this OSD menu. You have to go to the GSync processor and then select the NVIDIA Reflex, and then turn on HD and display latency. You can also go for show the rectangle part, but this for now is not needed. It will show you where it will actually measure the response time, the latency, from when you click the mouse and when the action has been translated and when the reaction actually happens, when the frame actually starts to react. So when this is all done, see, this is the rectangle I'm talking about. In game, this is where your muzzle is going to be, where the fire comes out of your gun muzzle. Let me turn this off for now. Afterwards, you just have to go to NVIDIA GSync Experience. Make sure you have the latest version. In here, you need to click on this little settings icon, and you can go for, for those of you who are familiar with this already, you can just go, because here it says the in-game overlay. So you need to have this enabled. And once this is enabled, you can simply click on, it takes a second, okay, Alt and Z, it will bring out this GeForce Experience overlay menu. Go to Performance, and here you'll have to choose, what the overlay actually shows. Does it show the status, showing performance, is it showing viewers or comments? So you have to go to Performance and then choose Reflex Analyzer. This will then make sure everything is going to be displayed. You can choose what position it is. So right now we have it set up here in the right upper corner. Okay.
Shall I make this a little bit bigger?
Let's do the magic.
There we go.
Ta-da! So if you want to use this, you can, just like the steps I've shown you, and if you don't want to show this, you can just click on Alt and R. It will also disappear. Okay, basically now you're all good to go and set up. You'll also see with this in-game just what kind of reaction it is getting, what kind of milliseconds of mouse latency you're getting. Now, why is this important? If you want to know more details about this, after the live stream you can just search up, because NVIDIA has a lot of their own produced content where they have shown and also in graphs and charts regarding what kind of benefits you're actually getting out of this Reflex Analyzer optimization. You can just go to YouTube and look up this NVIDIA Reflex, and you will see a very detailed video that NVIDIA have done with also real-life reaction videos as to what's really the latency change, the frames when you talk about click on the mouse and how fast it's actually translated into an action in the frame. So basically what this gives you is that it will give you a better latency, which will in turn mean that you will have an advantage over your opponents, if that person doesn't use the same setup, because you have lower latency, which means that when you click on your mouse, you should have a faster reaction. Well, the system will have a faster reaction as to translating this mouse click into an action, into a frame that changes. So
sometimes I quickly alt tab to the chat, by the way, so I can quickly read.
Great.
I saw some people talking about the mouse as well. Let me see. Shisher is saying, but it requires a certain compatible mouse, right? Yes, that is correct. So the GM41 lightweight that Jazz currently using is also an officially NVIDIA certified mouse for NVIDIA Reflex. So indeed, you need both a compatible monitor and a compatible mouse in order to use NVIDIA Reflex. I'm, by the way, using the GM41 lightweight wireless, so the wireless version of the mouse that Jazz is using.
Yeah, my game got stuck, so I have to reopen the game.
I will make your refresh or a reflex screen a little bit smaller again. There we go. And
okay, once the game has started, I will also show you that actually a majority of the titles, when it comes to competitive games and even AAA title games, have started to implement this, because you actually also have an in-game option where blah 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 blah. Okay, let me show you, where was it again? I think it was. I think it was setting at video, and then here, yes, the NVIDIA Reflex low latency. So many of the games, especially the eSports games, have already implemented this in the game itself, where the game already optimizes the latency for your system. This one right now is set on, but just put on and boost for the best experience or the best result. Now this, in combination with the physical Reflex Analyzer optimization, is really going to give you the best latency experience, which means that your system is going to react faster as to when you click on your mouse. It's going to translate into action faster than your opponents, which means if you fire at the same time, if you click on the mouse at the same time, you will have a faster bullet that goes out of your gun than your opponent. That's in theory what it translates into. Of course, it depends on just how much is being optimized, how much millisecond you're gaining. In competitive world, where 0.1 millisecond is going to make you or break you, that's very important. Okay, let me introduce our invite mic to my lobby.
Reject. Just kidding.
Screw you, Mike. Let's make sure I have some sound.
I will not put on my headset completely so I can still hear you.
Okie dokie. All right, now let's put our hardware to test.
Troy says, I have an office meeting, but I want to watch you guys play Valorant too. Why not do both? That's the benefit of multi-monitor setups. You can have your office meeting on one, or aren't you working from home right now?
So generally, guys, some information regarding the performance and what you should expect when you get into competitive games, and at 1080p, 1440p, and 4K even. What you have to pay attention to is that your hardware should be able to match. If you want to buy a 360 Hz gaming monitor, you gotta at least make sure that the game that you play the most, or the games that you play the most, can match. Well, the FPS can match the monitor's refresh rate at least. So you need to get close to 360 Hz, or even preferably even above it, to have the best latency as well. So you're gonna make sure that your PC can actually handle 360 Hz and plus FPS, not refresh rate. So only in those cases you are getting the most out of your 360 Hz monitor. So don't just go blindly get into a monitor without looking as to what's your system spec. Can you actually push out 360 Hz FPS? And of course, a lot of the settings in the game can already help you do this. If you lower the game, like Michiel, he plays like on a potato visual. Everything is like pixelated because he then will have the highest FPS.
Full eSports mode, everything to the lowest.
So yeah, and the tips here, something rule of thumb, and what you should remember is that playing at 1080p, your CPU, especially at eSports games, your CPU is going to be so much more important than your GPU, because it has to handle all of the high refresh rate, the high instructions that it's getting to push out as many frames as possible, because only then it goes to your GPU to be rendered. But your CPU has to be able to keep up with the high refresh rate, or the high frames instructions per second to push out for render for your GPU. Now, if you go up to 4040p, it already becomes more obvious that your GPU is going to have a harder time, or more of the hard work to carry than your CPU, because there won't be as many frames. And when you go to 4K, then your CPU, basically, if you have like a recent CPU that's at least average or capable, then it's not going to matter much anymore as to when you have like a mid-tier CPU and a high-tier CPU, because your GPU is going to carry all the water. So 1080p, really gotta make sure your CPU is very, very capable.
Oh, that's you.
And when you go to 1440p, make sure your GPU is much more capable. And 4K, pretty much the only thing you look at is that you have a very, very capable GPU, if your CPU is at least average. And right now I'm sitting at, approximately 400 FPS, which is perfect because my monitor has 360 refresh rate hertz. And let me show you my video settings. So here, of course, always make sure that your FPS is not being capped by the game.
One enemy
Limit
remaining.
FPS and menus, so that's not important. Maximum background, so off, always off. Graphic quality. Everything pretty much on high, because I have the Asus Ti5 right now, so I don't really care about lowering my settings, because I can handle everything at max and still push out 400 FPS. So that's my setup. And Michiel is actually also playing on 1080p, and he has our Infinite S3, which has a i7 11700 and a RTX 3070. And he's also playing a very comfortable, I would guess, with his settings, 300 plus FPS on his 240 Hz monitor. So we are both very, very well off when it comes to hardware, so we just have to make sure to perform. I gave him a headshot, but he doesn't die. Okay.
I don't know if I have a good weapon or not.
Down B.
So easy, guys.
Job,
so easy when you have such a high response time and refresh rate.
Comes too easy, right?
Almost.
Oh, we need to capture this. Okay.
One enemy remaining.
Should have knifed him.
Well, he killed me, so there's one here.
There's only one left. Probably camping somewhere.
Yeah, it was where I was.
Who's next?
Oh, Troy says I have a
Your
3080 and a
saying
60 hertz
me
monitor.
stuck at 60 hertz
Oof.
monitor. Yikes. Oh, Troy's saying, yay, Mike killed one. You have some people
Spike
cheering for
planted.
you.
Good.
Last player standing.
I was a little bit AFK, guys, because I was reading the chat, so
I always say that.
you should.
Let me make the reflex a little bit bigger. Right now you can see all the FPS, latency, etc.
Yeah, maybe make me a little bit smaller as well, so people can see more of the game.
Don't rush me.
Rip.
Clutch.
Oh, we lost?
That was savvy. How'd you learn to hunt like that?
All right.
I'm just choosing some random
I
weapons.
didn't even buy last round, so.
Okay.
Michiel,
Yeah.
make me smaller.
Like this?
Yes.
Oh, there's something here. There's two here.
All right, so.
Enemy spotted B.
Okay.
Hawk out.
Enemy at B.
Enemy spotted B.
Oh, there are two right here as well, on two sides.
Yeah, I'm coming behind him.
Spike planted.
How did he not die? I was right on him.
Maybe he also has a 360 hertz monitor, yeah?
No, I think he just had a better aim than me.
Yeah, maybe.
1v3, easy. Nope.
Yo, Sova, that house pretty dope. Would look a lot better with some flame details on it, right?
All right, all right, all right. Gotta get serious, guys.
What are these walls? Like this.
Well, they are basically just preventing you from going because this is the buy phase.
Ah, okay.
So we have to wait until the time limit is.
That's how experienced I am in following.
Michiel is just he's just pretending, you know, so that when he loses, it doesn't come across as bad.
Hawk out.
Actually, I play this game 13 hours a day.
Again a B. All right, let's run.
Enemy spotted B.
Spike planted. Last player standing.
Wow,
That's done.
nice.
Got him. Oh,
That's
that's not good.
flash.
That's not good.
Nice try, nice try.
You want me serious?
So what's the go-to weapon in this game?
Well, you gotta go for Phantom or Vandal, if you have the money for it at least.
I have
Otherwise, you know, a
Phantom.
Bulldog is okay, I guess.
Okay.
Okay, they like B, so let's go B.
Don't hold back.
Go here. Need help.
Enemy spot B.
Enemy C.
Who's next?
I need a better weapon.
Oh, I had one, but there was one behind him as well.
Enemy spotted B.
Man, people with their fancy skins.
Spike down. B.
Okay, your sense says long distance Vandal, short distance Phantom.
Back off.
One enemy remaining.
Okay, I'll try Vandal next one.
Spectre and Stinger for run and gun. Well, definitely try that out.
My quiver is never full.
Ah, okay, that's the one. Okay.
Need help.
That's good. So we're going to A.
Gonna save some money. They like B, man. We should go B.
Oh, that doesn't work.
Eyes up.
This is it. It's our round.
Enemy A.
Oh, I got one, but there was one more. I'm too much run and gun, I think.
Where the hell did he come from?
Spike planted.
Seek them. Found one. Found one. Watch out.
Oh, we're gonna take this. I think we're gonna take this.
Let me see, how do I tweak that crosshair? Okay, okay.
Oh, we're
One
taking
enemy
this, we're
remaining.
taking this.
Spike's dead. You're welcome.
Okay, let me try to tweak the crosshair a bit in between again.
What does this world hurt me? It's mine. I
Yeah.
will kill to defend it.
Gun here.
I got B.
Get out of my way.
Take flight.
Too busy here.
Shot down.
You see that, boys? That's it.
One enemy remaining.
That's it.
Flawless.
That's
Got it.
it.
You get that on camera?
Still alive. I want their life, not yours.
That was quite doable.
Out right here.
Oh, we're not doing that bad.
Nope. We gotta win this, man.
For some Valorant rookies.
Let me show you how the boss does it.
Shot down. Shot down.
Whoa. What is that? Presence detected.
It's enemy. They're using their nades in order to see where we are.
Ah, okay.
Take flight.
I'm not that advanced of a player yet.
Spike planted.
Ah, shit. It's A.
Oh, that's our drone.
We gotta go. It's the other side.
One enemy
I
remaining.
avenged you. Ah, the other
Last
guy
player
got me.
standing.
It's 1v1.
I did get the guy who killed you, though.
Hi. Fight's not over, you know.
Troy be like, ace the game for the chat. Easily said than done, buddy.
No, easy. That's usually when I die, when I say that.
Michiel, your sense is giving you advice to use X
To use X.
Yes, because that's your, no, not, oh shit, not now, too early.
I was trying X. Oh, huh? Ah, okay, no, but oh, that's the special ability thing. Okay.
Someone's B.
Spike planted.
He's behind the box.
One enemy
Good job.
remaining.
What's that weapon that he has? What is that?
It's Fendel. It's the second rifle.
That looks intense.
Cutting their vision.
Don't even start.
Nice. Another
What are
round
those
in the
blocks? Can you
pocket.
walk like through them or not?
No, but you can destroy them.
Ah, okay, okay.
A day working the farm would do these fellas good.
Yeah.
It's time for my ultimate. Your sins, I can't really tell in my crosshair settings because I don't remember how I set it up.
My ultimate's not ready.
Enemy spotted B.
What is that?
Who's next?
Spike
Well,
down.
well.
Oh, I did get one apparently.
Can we still make this? It's 2v4.
Last player standing. Spike planted.
Oh, wait. Watch out! Watch out!
That's a really interesting gun. Oh.
All right, let's
Oh, I'm out of money.
let's get back around.
Which one should I get then?
I'm not sure. But
I'll go for
I'm
Bulldog. I
gonna
don't know if it's
sniper
the right
this
one.
round.
We'll see.
Go here. Multiple enemies.
Spike down. Attacker
It's
spawn.
one. Hey,
Oh, I only have
Spike
4 health
down.
left.
B. Last player standing.
8-8-2. I guess it's
Spike
not
planted.
bad. Actually, Michiel has 9 frags. Well,
do?
well,
I do?
Michiel. Well, I'll be damned.
Hey, maybe I don't know all the special abilities, but sometimes I can hit people.
It's almost like you practice all night.
Last round.
I
in
did,
the
right?
half.
Or it's gone.
Okay, last round before swap.
All right, I'm gonna wait for them at this round.
Get out of my way!
Whoa,
There's
suppressed.
quite a
Whoa,
lot.
one
of
behind
people
me. Okay, there's now. I don't know what it is, but there's something in between now.
I cannot use that.
Watch out!
Oh, there's another one behind me.
here. 1-for-1 trade.
You will not kill my allies!
planted.
Rip.
Last player standing. Switching sides.
I hate making new friends.
Shut up, Troy. Sometimes you have to camp as the good guys.
I did change my crosshair a little bit.
I don't have money, no
Let's see if
money.
it helps.
Well, we don't need money because it's the first round. Holy crap, you can do this? How is he doing that? Ah, interesting.
I'll just stick with the standard gun.
Interesting. Very interesting. Let's
So
go.
as attackers, what should we actually do? Plant a bomb like in Counter-Strike?
Yep. You plant either A or B.
Okay.
Be quiet.
Got it.
Nice. Behind.
Poor cats! Yoru's down. Healing over here. This way. Gotta go.
Enemy spotted.
Spike planted.
One enemy remaining.
You have to go back to A.
Oh,
Help your
there's
teammates. Oh, there's only one left. Go get him.
first I need to find him. Oh, he found me.
And there he is.
Last player standing.
Get him. Oh my god, he's gonna clutch a 1v3.
That should have been doable.
Clutch.
You're since asking, host, which esports do you watch in general? I only watch Rocket League, actually.
I only watching CSGO actually. You know, Katowice just started 2022. So after I go home, I probably have a few games to catch up. Let's go for a Deagle play. Save some money for the next round. Let's go to A, boys. Let's go. I'll lead the way.
Nice.
Boom! Headshot!
Good job, Ja.
It's that dude, you know, from the meme where we're saying like, you know, my blood is pumping, still making headshots.
Oh, is friendly fire a thing in this game?
Nope,
Okay.
not in this mode.
Go, go, go.
Whoa.
Spike planted. Reloading.
Someone's A.
Oh
That
shit,
didn't
we're
work.
gonna
There
win
were
the
two.
force by. We're gonna win the force by.
I went in full Quake mode.
One enemy remaining.
We got this.
Reloading. Gotta go.
Time to go. Nah, I'm gonna keep my Deagle. Give me this as well.
These parasites aren't
Nice
gonna
round,
take
boys.
one step past this place.
Which way are we going?
Let's go to A again.
Okay.
Somebody is saying you're
Get out of my
a
way.
Italian mobster. I
Me?
don't know why. Somewhere in the chat. Sit down, boy. That's a
Enemy
headshot.
spotted A. Reloading. Revealing area.
Embarrassing.
Reloading.
Oh, I can use this now.
Deploying drone.
One enemy remaining.
Okay. Oh,
Player standing.
oops. I shouldn't use my special ability because someone found where my actual point was.
Yep, I noticed. Right behind us. Time for some sniper action. Look at my delicious FPS. Really, like, you know, that's a really big difference actually, guys, because if I move around in here, you know, everything still feels very, very sharp and clear. And that's, you know, the biggest advantage of a 360 Hz monitor, when you actually can also push out 360 Hz plus FPS. It's just so much clearer when you move around, especially when you try to
Enemy
control
spotted.
your
Oh, that
recoil.
hurt.
Here we go.
Reloading.
Can I shoot those blocks?
Yep, you can break it.
Our spike carrier is dead.
Spike down A.
Oh no, we lost the spike. Amateur mistake.
Revealing area.
Did you get it?
Last player standing.
Oh, this
there was
guy
another one.
again is always behind me.
One enemy remaining.
Broski is gonna save the round, I guess. Rip. I jinxed it.
Never do that.
Remember, bullets hurt.
And now I have so little money. Okay, let's go B, boys.
Oh, what is that? That's cool.
There. For you, hermanita.
All right.
Be quiet.
Reloading.
How did he know?
Reloading.
It's all on you, buddy.
Still in sight. Reloading.
Take this.
Can I go through here?
Enemy spotted me.
Spike carriers down.
Spike down
I'm
B.
lacking a little bit of map knowledge.
2v2, come on, boys. 2v2.
Last
there
player
was one.
standing.
1v2, I guess. 5 HP, rip.
Man, I
crap,
really
that's
have
great.
no idea where I'm going yet.
That's pretty.
30 seconds left.
Eric is saying the side-by-side compare the video quality on the right side is slightly darker but more crisp. Yeah, Ja plays at higher settings. I always play every game in eSports settings pretty much, so I put everything at minimum quality.
If you're not a good shot today, don't worry. There are other ways to be useful.
All right, let's go get it.
Reloading. Reloading.
Rip.
Oh, one's already. How can they already be there? I thought they also had to walk a little while before they could get it.
I thought so too, but
Enemy spotted A.
Our spike carrier.
Last player standing.
come Come on, man.
Down, attacker spawn.
Our top scorer is AFK. He disconnected, so moist.
Match point.
A bow and arrow is old-fashioned. Sometimes old ways are best.
It's all or nothing.
We're not on the winning hand, are we?
Lose your life. Enemy spotted A. Down. Reloading.
Who's next?
Our spy carrier is dead.
I don't know what
Spike
that was,
down,
but there was a
attacker
guy
spawn.
that ran and disappeared. But I think that was the special ability, right?
Yep.
Last player standing.
How? Somebody was
Defenders
behind?
win.
I think so.
Oh, well, I have 15-15, guys. For a rookie, that wasn't bad. What was your score, Michiel? Shit, I didn't check.
I don't know.
But you know, it's really quite a thing to experience 360 hertz and a 400 FPS experience.
Shall we pick another winner?
Yeah. And then it's almost time to say goodbye.
So what shall we do? One more regular game code and then go for the collector's edition?
Let's go. All right, guys, we did our best. Unfortunately, you know, the last few rounds, our top scorer left the game, so we had to carry. Try our best.
And that went all
Despite
wrong.
the best efforts from the hardware, we came out short. Okay, so
If you haven't participated yet, last time to do so, because first I'm going to draw a regular code, so then if you apply now, you're still in for the collector's edition. So go to msi.com/2/insider or follow the direct link in the Twitch or YouTube chat. Let me see. So our next winner for today will be a winner of a regular game code for Dying Light 2. So not the collector's edition yet, but the normal game. And our winner is Rob. Congratulations. I can imagine there are several Robs in the chat. So how do you know if you're the winning Rob? Check your email in the coming days. Then you know.
yep. Congrats and
Congratulations.
This is what we have been waiting for, I guess.
Yeah, the moment is here. It's time to draw our big winner for today. For the collector's edition.
System is taking a while. But yeah, guys, we hope you enjoyed today's live stream and also gained some knowledge along the way. Especially had fun.
We have a
Like
winner.
always, we definitely have fun, and seems like we have
Yeah.
the winner for today's Editor's Collection Edition, which means you will actually have a physical box shipped to you with Dying Light 2 goodies in there, as well as the game. So, and his name or her name is Veldje.
Congratulations. You won the collector's edition of Dying Light 2.
Yeah, congrats, congrats. And
So again, congratulations to Nightwatch, Anton K, Rob for winning the regular edition of Dying Light 2 and Veldje for the collector's edition. Congrats.
all right, yeah, I will definitely contact you guys in the coming days through email. And yeah, guys, next week we are actually going to have a quite a surprise of a live stream, which is a fancy word for saying we ran into a little bit of a logistical trouble with the live stream topics. So yeah, it's gonna be a surprise for sure.
So
But,
basically, it means we're going to think this week about what we're going to do next week. But I'm sure it will be a lot of fun again.
Yep. And as always, guys, thank you so much for joining today. You know, it was happy. We were happy to see you guys in the chat. We had a lot of fun, and definitely stay safe and tune in next time.
Same place,
Have a
same
good day.
time. Hope to see you next week.
All right,
Goodbye,
guys.
everyone.
Cheers.